Alright, all good. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hey everybody, this is Dubba here. Just wanted to go over some rune builds. Anyways, I do not claim to be any kind of expert. All I'm offering is my thoughts on rune sets and what subs I would feel would be good on that monster. Um, any starter account, I would recommend farming Swift, Energy, and Fatal sets as much as possible, as those will be the primary base sets for every single monster.
Maybe why not you start by introducing yourself first to the audience here.
Yeah. My name is Dubba. I do have a stream on Twitch. I can post it if you guys want it.
Yeah, it is on the description on the link here.
Okay, perfect. Anyways, so yeah, the sets. You got for starters energy that gives you your base HP plus 15%. And then you got fatal, which gives you base attack plus 15%. And those are great for almost every monster in the game. Your attack and HP is very important. Swift is mana cost -1, but it only counts for the first cast. Guard is 15% defense. Then you got Blade, which is 20% crit rate. Will, which is immunity, it has a 90-second cooldown. I think they're going to eventually reduce that, but as of right now, it's not very strong. It's great for the first debuff, but that's about it. And then you got Rage, which tunes up your crit damage by 25%. I really don't recommend this set unless you got some massive crit rate subs on some runes, and that's probably going to take Legends runes to pull off. Focus is accuracy plus 30%. Endure is resistance plus 30%. That's a pretty good set for most tanks that you need. Vampire is life drain plus 20%. That basically means that any damage you deal, you will gain 20% back in life. So if you hit an enemy for, say, 5,000 damage, you gain 1,000 back as healed HP. Violent has a card return rate, which basically allows a card to return to your deck. I put my Kona on it just to mess with people. But it just basically returns that card to your hand. And then Destroy. This one's the odd one. I'm not sure if it'll ever be used in this game because nobody's like overpowered heal wise. But Destroy basically, if you say deal 3,000 damage, that's roughly going to knock 1,000 HP off of their max HP that cannot be healed back up. So it doesn't matter if somebody heals them for 5 million HP, you can't get that HP back.
Yep, so that's pretty much the explanation on all the rune set effects. As you hear it from Duba, we have DubahGaming with us tonight. Okay, so out of all these sets, which one do you think is the most game-changing one?
Well, like I said, Swift, Fatal, and Energy have pretty much tied. Any DPS on Fatal, you can't go wrong. Any support on Swift, you can't go wrong. And any tank on Energy, you cannot go wrong.
Okay, cool. Alright, so tonight what we'll do is we'll go through each of the hero we have in game and go through on what are the best rune sets we think will be applicable to them. Alright, so let's hear it from Duba as we go through each of the heroes.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so we're gonna start off with Zabolta. Uh, I recommend putting him onto a fatal set. His bombs deal damage according to his attack. They can crit and they can do elemental damage. So if you get those kinds of subs, great. But you really want to focus on accuracy and attack percent on this guy. He has a low EHP, so whatever you can get as far as HP and defense subs are great.
Cool. Yep. I agree with Gibraltar on using fatal sets. So, do you think he has any other build other than fatal sets?
He could potentially. I mean, eventually, if you get some really good blade runes, maybe I could see it. But they got to be really good to make that happen.
Yep, yep. Alright, let's move on to the next unit then.
The next unit I got up is Pelea.
Okay.
Honestly, Fatal or Swift is what I would recommend on her. Again, you could put Blade or Rage on her, but they would have to be really good runes to make that happen. Because on her, you need to focus on accuracy a lot in order to get her defense to land, which is the most important part of her. You also want to stack whatever attack you can get. That helps.
I agree on Fatal, but why Swift? She already has a low mana cost of 3. So why do you think she need a Swift rune?
I put mine on Swift, and she's a great setup for my Lapis. Like, I can get everything off real fast at the start of the battle.
But that's only happened once, right? And I don't think you only use Pelea once in the whole game. So do you think Swift is good for her?
I use Swift. I like my player on Swift. She does, like I said, she sets up real fast, and that's like the most important part of the fight is getting that front line down because that back line's weak.
Yeah, probably for a setup Pelea that works, but I think for me I rather use her with fatal sets. Because of the frequency that I use her, especially at the late game. So I'll want to keep her with the attack sets ongoing. But that's just my preference.
Oh yeah, no, Fatal's a great step for her.
Yep, yep.
I'm not arguing that at all.
Alright, let's move on to the next one.
Next one I got is Royd.
Okay.
This guy, he's really only good as a tank. Put him on Energy Guard, Endure, anything like that works. If you really want to rely on his defense break, give him a little bit of accuracy, but focus on HP, defense, resistance.
Okay, so for this guy, basically the summary is whatever rune you give him, he'll still be useless. Alright, let's move on.
Yeah, I strongly recommend energy on him. He's a good energy guy.
Okay, next one. We have Shannon, right?
Next one I have is Shannon. She's a fun one. Energy, Endure, Guard. There's probably some sets that I'm not thinking about. Maybe Violent. I mean, she has a really low mana cost. She puts up defense too. If you have her skill stone, she can also put up attack too. So, like, she's all around just a great monster to have. You want her to probably be tanky though, so Energy, Guard, Endure, great sets.
Yep. Violent is an interesting choice though, because then you can keep bringing her up to bump up that defense, especially if you run a copper team. So you can get a defense 3 easier if you spam her. Okay, that's good. Let's go. Next one.
Alright, next we got Bernard. This guy, Swift Energy Guard, again, he has a low mana use, but you generally I just want him for that opener. So 1 mana acceleration buff is amazing. So I would recommend Swift, but you can put him on energy, you can put him on guard. Um,
Yep.
you could probably put him on endure if you really wanted his resistance up.
Yeah. Some people even use him as the frontline unit, so he can be quite tanky as a tank in front if you put
Yep,
energy on him.
definitely make him tanky. Make him as tanky as possible because he doesn't do any damage. So,
Yeah, yeah. All right, cool. Let's move on.
and then we got Finn. This guy's skill relies on crit rate. It freezes if he lands a crit, and if you're relying on that, then you need him on Blade. Um, other than that, you could toss him on Fatal. He does pretty good on Fatal set, but like I said, if you're relying on that freeze, you want him on crit.
Yep, I agree. Especially you use him for that freeze, right? When you land a critical hit. That's important. Okay, let's move on.
All right, next we got Lucia. Um, her heal is based on her attack, so basically the Fatal set. She has a low EHP, so get her as much attack as possible because she does a pretty strong heal.
Mm.
Um, but get her as much attack as possible and get her as much EHP as possible, and she'll do good.
Yep, I give her the resistance set as well, because sometimes people want to disable her from the healing, right? So high enough resistance can be quite good on her as well.
Yeah, I like to pick on her with my ragdoll, so resistance is pretty good too.
Exactly. All right, let's go to the next one.
All right, next one is a fun one. I've got Konamaya. This guy, he's like the jack of all trades, man. Energy, guard, endure, violent. I mean,
Yep.
all these sets work really well on him. Mine, like I said, is on violent. I love messing with people, dude.
Yeah, mine is
My
on violent too.
Lapis, and then Kona, Lapis, Kona, Lapis.
Yeah, violent is I think the best set for this guy.
By far, I would recommend violent on him.
Yep, yep. All right, cool. Let's go to the next one.
Seek is next on my list.
Yep.
I would put Fatal Blade or Rage on him. He's a DPS at heart.
Yep.
You want
I think if
to
you
deal
got-
as much damage as possible, so toss as much damage stats as you can.
Yep. If you have the critical rate stone, I think is good enough crit rate for him, so you can give the rage set for the crit damage. I think it's a good set for him.
Yeah, I mean, I think his Purple Stone would be better, but yeah, he's still pretty strong.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know. I'm torn. I love that Purple Stone. I love the effect of the Purple Stone, but sadly, I mean, you really only get one use out of it, so
Yeah. I mean, look at this balance of crit rate and crit damage. Okay, but that's up to preference. Like I said, you use him as a critical unit or a attack unit. Both can be done. Okay. Let's go to the next one.
all right, next one is Colleen. Colleen could be on Energy Guard, Endure. You could put her on Swift if you want, but she has a really low mana cost. It's only 3 mana. Like, I feel like Swift is kind of a wasted set on her. So, Energy Guard, Endure is great. Make her tanky. The more HP she has, the better. So, Energy would be my best recommendation for her.
Yep.
Her heal is based off her HP, so
Yep. I agree with the HP set. Okay. Let's go to the next one.
next is Raccoon. I really don't know a lot about this guy since his buff. I have been seeing people run him on Fatal for damage, and it seems to work out pretty well. So, Fatal, Energy, Guard, Endure, typical tanky stuff.
I actually run this guy on a violent set. So same logic as Konamaya. I want to keep bringing this guy back to keep reducing that mana on the unit that I use. So use him, use that unit, use him again, use that unit. So just keep repeating like that.
Yeah, I could see Violent. That wouldn't be a bad choice.
Yep, yep. So for me, I'll use a violent set for him. Okay, but that's really up to how you use your unit. Okay, what do we have for the next one?
Next we got Thrain.
Train. Where are
We're moving into the rares.
you? Yeah.
Thrain, I would recommend on Fatal Blade set. Get him just a little bit of accuracy so his stuns land. But you mostly want to focus on damage with him. He doesn't have a very high EHP, so trying to get HP subs and defense subs probably isn't going to do you very good.
Yep, yep. Okay, cool. Let's go to the next one.
Next one is for Dom. This guy surprisingly does a lot of damage.
Yep.
I don't think anybody really uses him as a damage dealer. They just use him as a stun setup for
Yep, I use him as a
Poseidon.
stun.
But if you toss him on Fatal, Rage Blade, get him some damagey stats, he hits the backline really freaking hard.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. But sometimes I combo him with the Deceleration team, and because the mana cost for like Ganymede is so high, right? So I want to reduce his cost with Swift, so we can cast the combo for the stun.
Yep, you can use Swift too.
Yep, that's just how I use him with the Swift. Okay, that's good. Let's go.
Next up is Koon.
Alright, Koon. Koon is my main tank.
This guy, yeah, he's one hell of a tank. Energy Guard Endure. On this guy's probably the only one out of all the tanks that I would recommend Guard on because he has a nice high base defense, like really high.
Yep. Look at the defense there.
But if you don't have Guard, like I said, farm those energy runes. He does great on energy too. It's not an issue.
I think by default, Koon is the only unit that has the higher base defense than Copper. So that Copper don't have that Ignore Defense against him.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think I looked at Copper's defense.
Yeah. Okay, so that's for Koon. Next.
All right, next one is Beretta.
Beretta.
This guy's fun.
Yeah.
He can run a lot of sets. Swift, Focus, Violent. Violent has been like the most popular one lately. Especially if you have his purple stone. Violent is huge on Beretta.
I use Focus though. Because I want to
land. Focus is great. Get him some accuracy.
I want to
get him to land his debuffs. That's perfect.
Yep, yep. Yep, so he's pretty simple to use. Just keep using him.
Again, if you are starting out, use Swift. Do not be afraid. Like Swift is great on him too.
Exactly. Okay, what do we have next?
We got Colleen.
Kali, okay.
Now this guy hits like a freaking truck. So toss him on Fatal Blade Rage. He is a glass cannon at heart. Stack his attack stats. Don't worry about HP defense because if he gets targeted, he's gonna die anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's good. Next one.
Next one is Ramagos or Ramagod.
Ramagod.
Energy set. There's no reason to have him on anything but energy set. I could see Swift if he really wanted to because his mana cost is a little bit high, but honestly his damage is based off his HP, so you want him as much HP as possible.
Yeah, so that the percentage of the remaining HP is comparatively higher if you have a higher max HP. Okay, that's good. Let's go.
All right, next is the Barbarian. I don't even know how to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know.
Yeah, I also don't know. Okay, what do you have?
He's great because his damage doesn't really rely on his attack or anything like that, and he does decent damage. So honestly, tossing him on energy Swift set is what I usually put him on. But you can make him tanky on energy. Just get him some accuracy.
Yep, normally if you put him on the front line, you can put energy so he can tank as well.
Yeah, he's pretty tanky, and he does some good damage. So there's, I mean,
Alright.
Just get him some accuracy, HP, defense subs. You'll
Yeah.
be fine.
That's cool. Okay, let's go.
All right, Mav. He is a great tank. I've seen a lot of people put him in slot 5 and then switch out their main tank all the time, and it's a great combo.
Especially if you have the
putting-
continuous recovery stone, right?
I'm sorry?
If you have the stone that recover the HP.
Oh, yeah.
So energy.
I wouldn't recommend anything other than energy or guard. You just need him tanky.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, let's go.
My Keane is the next one.
Yep.
Again, she has a 4 mana cost, so she's a great choice for Swift. Energy, guard, endure, other sets that you could have her on. You just want to make her tanky.
Yep. Okay, that's easy. Let's go.
Megan, again, Swift, energy, guard, endure, tanky. Swift is great for her to get her. I mean, I know she has a low mana cost, but I have mine on Swift, and I love it. She can get her tack off that quick and get you that much of a faster lead.
Yep. Especially with her purple stone, right? That give the initial mana too. If you put her on Swift, you can immediately use her right at the beginning of the game.
Yep.
Alright, cool. Let's go.
All right, next one is my least favorite monster, Orion. I hate this guy with a passion, but you want to toss him on energy, Swift, guard. Violent is the rave nowadays, and focus also works as well, so that way he can land his debuffs.
Yep.
Just basically make him tanky with some accuracy subs, and he'll do whatever you need him to do.
Yep. Awesome. Let's go.
Jean, the new monster, the new fire monster, is.
I think you skip Tagaros.
Yeah, Jean is just a glass cannon, so Fatal Blade Rage. She just attacks the monster with the highest attack power, so that usually means a weak monster. Just get it. Hit it as hard as possible so you can kill it.
Jean, you mean Jean, the new hero Jean. The new one, right?
Is it John or Jean? I think it's Jean.
Jin is the other one, the one with the shield that stuns.
Oh, yeah, that's Jean. Yeah, something like that. Jean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how to pronounce his names.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about the new hero, John. So John using the attack Fatal. Yep.
Yep.
I think we missed out Tagaros before this. Let's go back to Tagaros.
Tagaros? No, I got. Did I skip Tagaros?
Yeah, you skipped Tagaros.
Okay. We'll go back to Tagaros.
Yep.
But anyways, Tagaros, he's good on Fatal Blade or Rage. He does a frontline stun, which can be useful in a lot of situations, and he does some pretty good damage. So throw him just a little bit of accuracy to hopefully land his stun, and give him all the damage you can. He does good damage.
Okay. Next one, we have Lucian.
Yep, next one is Lucian. Fatal Blade. I've seen people put him on Vampire, Rage.
Yep. Pretty simple. So just do damage on him. Using Vampire, you can actually sustain him with all the damage that he does on all the AoE damage, right? And you can keep him alive much longer than the enemy Lucian. So I see some people use Vampire on him as well. Okay, next one we have Copper.
We have Copper.
Copper is simple. There's only one.
With Copper, there is no reason to have him on any other set than Guard. There's just no point. His damage is based off his defense. You need his defense to be 50% higher than the enemy's defense in order to ignore defense, so stack the defense.
Yep, exactly. Okay. Then after this we have the Jin, the girl version.
Yeah, the girl version. There you go. She's great on energy, guard, endure. Energy makes her heal a little bit more. Guard just makes her a little bit more tanky, and endure just get her the resistance.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, if you come down to a Jean versus Jean, and you got yours on endure, yours is probably gonna win.
Yeah, because you heal the 25% HP, right? And with higher max HP, there's a lot more HP to heal as well. Okay, we go next to Sophia.
Sophia, one of my favorites. She hits like a truck, so put her on Fatal Blade of Rage as usual. Little bit of accuracy on her is great because she lands that defense break, and that she can land defense break 3, so it could be huge.
Yep, exactly. Okay, next we have our goddess.
Yeah, Soha. I don't even know where to start with Soha. She is good on everything, it seems. Focus, Fatal, Blade, Rage, Energy, Guard, or Endure. It all depends on what you need her to do. If you're using her just for the heal and a buff steal, then toss her on Fatal or Blade or Rage, because she heals based off her damage, and she can hit pretty hard if you stack her with enough attack stats.
Yep. I use accuracy on her because I want her to steal that buff. Pretty much guaranteed steal. Yeah, but that's just my preference on using accuracy.
Yep. Focus would have been my second choice, or well, technically Focus would be my first choice. Stacking her with that accuracy, getting her to land that buff steal is, I think, is the most important part for Soha.
Exactly. Okay, next we have Chloe.
Chloe is just a tank with a little bit of invincibility. I recommend her on Swift with tanky subs because she costs 5 mana. So 4 mana invincibility, okay, I'm good with. But 5 mana, that's a little tough to scrounge up.
Yeah, she's too expensive, so we need Swift on her. Okay. Then we have Hua.
Hua. Her Fatal, Blade, Rage. I've seen her on Violet and I've seen her on Vampire. Both are really good choices.
Yep. I think we just want her to kill
with as much damage as possible because you want her to kill whatever she's targeting.
Correct. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Koon. Energy set. That's really all Koon is good on. I mean, you could toss him on Blade if you really want and get him to crit, but you're still focusing on HP if you do that.
Yep, pretty much energy set all the way for him. Okay.
Berta Hill. This guy's a tough one. I mean, I'm torn between rune sets on him because Focus to land his vampire thing is really important.
Yep.
But he does some good damage, so Fatal Blade Rage is also great on it. It depends on what you need him for.
Yep, I run him only for the blood ring, so I use Focus on him.
Oh yeah, you have his purple stone, so.
Yep, exactly. If you have purple stone, you want to have that blood ring going all the way, basically. Alright, cool. Let's go.
Alright, my baby Lapis.
Your baby, yeah.
Yeah, I rely on her. I got mine on Fatal with a lot of good subs. Crit rate where I can get it, attack where I can get it, and I don't really care about crit damage. I don't really care for crit damage subs in this game because it's so hard to get crit rate.
Yeah.
But
look at my Lapis HP with Fatal set.
Jesus, yeah, man. Can I have those?
That's a lot, right?
But I got like triple the crit rate you got.
Yeah, but I think some people put some resistance on Lapis so that the shield is not stolen by Soha.
Resistance is good. I've tried the resistance route. I still get my shield stolen.
Okay, cool. Let's go.
Mo Long is the next one, and he's an interesting one. I wouldn't recommend anything other than energy on him.
Yep.
His passive is based off his HP. His damage is based off his defense, but even with a high defense, it doesn't hit very hard. So there's really no point in stacking defense on this guy.
Yep. Because of the passive that use max HP.
Yeah, passive does like 30% of his max HP and damage on whoever kills him.
Yep. Okay. Sarah.
Ciara is a fun one. I put mine on Swift, honestly, to get that explosion off as quick as possible.
Mine also on
Fatal
Swift.
set is great on her because her bomb relies on her tag power. Energy set could be good on her if you just want to build her tanky.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
She does not need accuracy. Her main goal is to set off those bombs, dots, whatever you got.
Yep. It's pretty much guaranteed on stripping all those buffs anyway. Okay, Genny.
Yanni, I like him. Focus, energy, swift, or guard. He's very tanky. Swift would probably be my recommended set because of how high his mana cost is.
Yep.
But honestly, if you got his greenstone, you could probably change Swift into focus to get him to land his card burn more often.
Yep. Incineration is good. Okay, then we go to his beta version.
Oh, we got Poseidon. Poseidon's a fun one. Energy, he has a nice high base HP or focus for landing his deceleration.
Yep.
Those are probably the only two sets I would recommend on him.
Yep, and he has a cheap mana cost as well, so we don't need Swift on him.
Yeah, he only costs 3. He's a great monster.
Yep. Okay, next we have Rakan.
Rakan is somebody that I don't know much about because I barely use him, but I put him on energy on my account just because his damage is based off his HP, but I don't understand why he attack buffs himself. So
Yeah. I think the damage is calculated based on, I think, 66% HP and 33% attack, something like that.
So basically just stack him on HP because it does more than attack.
Yep, exactly. And he can tank too, because he grants himself immunity. Okay, that's good. Okay, next we have Artamil.
Artamil. I'd say guard for this guy. There's no reason to have him on any other set. He hits really freaking hard, and it's based off his defense, so go guard.
Yep, same as Copper. Okay, next one we have Wusa.
Wusa, energy set, swift set. He has a low base defense, so I wouldn't recommend guard. Endure could be good for him. But Swift, I think, is the most important one. He has a really high base mana cost, so.
Yep. With Swift, you can actually keep up with Beretta for the first cast, because then both of you are the same mana cost, 4 mana cost. Okay, next we have Camilla.
I think most people only use Camilla for her passive, so I would honestly make her tanky, energy guard, endure, get her tanky subs. I don't think honestly, if you build her for damage, she's going to damage your team at the same time that she damages the enemy. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Her damage is increases according to the max HP anyway, so you still want to put her on.
Yeah, it does.
Yep. Okay, cool. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm just saying stay away from the damage subs like crit rate, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use those.
Yep, exactly. Okay, Berna.
Swift, honestly, would be my recommendation for him, but Focus would be good for him as well. He's got 2 checks. First, you got to check to see if the skill actually triggers, and then you got to do an accuracy resistance check. So the more accuracy you have, the better.
Yep, to land those Eternal Flame. That's what you want for him. Okay, next, Nikki.
Nikki is fun. Swift or Focus. I guess Fatal could be a good one on her because her Teddy damage is based off her attack. So, but honestly, I think Swift or Focus would be the better sets for her.
Yep. Okay, cool. Let's go to the Eleanor, our horse.
Eleanor, she's a fun one. She's super tanky. Swift, Energy, Endure. Swift, I say, would probably be my favorite just because 3 mana cost cleanse at the start of the battle when you got to worry about Berettas and stuff like that. It makes it easier.
Yeah, but if you have the decreased mana stone cost, I think you can put her on energy because then she'll heal more.
Oh, yeah, I forgot she has that.
Yeah, she has that stone. So mine is running on 3 mana, that's why I put her on the energy set.
Yep, definitely. I would do that.
Okay, cool. Tessario.
Tessarion. This guy is a beast, man. He hits hard. And he gets elemental advantage, so that's a base increase of 15% crit rate. So tossing him on rune sets like Blade or Rage wouldn't be a far reach. I mean, you wouldn't need as much crit rate on him as somebody else.
Yep.
So he can do good on weaker sets.
Exactly. Okay. He is like the other version of Lucian basically. Okay, Ragdoll.
Ragdoll, you just want him for his damage, Fatal Blade, Rage. Only Blade or Rage if you can get his crit rate really high. If you can't get his crit rate high, do not rely on it because his base damage is not very strong.
Yep. Okay. Last one we have Hathor.
Hathor is, I don't know, I'm torn on her. Her mana cost is a little high, so I would say Swift. But Focus, Energy, Guard, and Endure also works very well on her.
Yeah, I run her on Swift just because I don't have the stone to decrease the mana cost. So I use Swift to decrease her cost at the beginning. So it'll be cheaper to counter the backline.
Yep, just get her accuracy.
Okay, so yep, that's pretty much it. So let me just show you again. This is the list of runes that I'm currently using for all my heroes. And as you can hear from the explanation from Dubah just now, what are the best possible runes to use for each hero. So yep, you can use this as a reference to start building your team. But of course, for like every other team, all these runes are customizable to suit what your team needs. So don't always get fixated on one type of rune. Just find the one that works best for your team. Okay, I think that's all for the guide today. Anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so.
Alright, if not, then thank you for joining us in today's stream. So for every one of you, don't forget to go to Dubah's channel. It's in the description below, and support him. And thank you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next stream.
Also,
Bye-bye.
if you guys have any requests for content, please send it. I'm sure Sylph will be willing to do anything.
Yeah. Just drop a comment on what you want to hear from us. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and see you again in the next video. Bye bye.